Yeah. It's kind of sad, yeah. Sounds fucking loud though.
Anything yet. It's everything that happens along the way.
Are you live now?
The choices you make, the paths you choose, that turn the routine into anything but. Of course, that's how it started.
Obviously, I'm using the top
A
of
routine mission,
shit.
answering a distress call. And look where that got me. We were testing out the Normandy, Captain Anderson's new ship, when the distress call came in. An Alliance patrol on Eden Prime had been attacked. They'd seen something they couldn't explain. And whatever it was massive. I hit the ground with my lieutenant, Caden Olenko. A good kid, loyal, by the book, with a talent for biotics. We came across the lone survivor of the patrol, Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams. A soldier to the core. Tough, disciplined, ready to take on whatever came her way. Ashley joined up with us and took us to the spot where she lost her squad. That's when we saw it.
Damn.
The ship. Like nothing I'd ever seen.
I'm down in insanity mode right now.
It was massive, scorching the colony and everything around it as it blasted away. We followed the path of destruction to an artifact, a beacon left by a long-dead race called the Protheans. The colony had dug it up, and whoever attacked them had tried to take it. Chief Williams made the mistake of getting too close.
I was planning first
It hit her
person.
with some type of energy. I grabbed her and threw her out of the way.
I took it off because, to be honest,
That's when it hit
like
me.
that much.
Hard. Every muscle in my body went rigid. I couldn't move, could barely breathe. Everything went black. And then I saw something. A vision. Dream. A nightmare. By the time I woke up, we were halfway to the Citadel on our way to meet the Council. I was expected to explain what I'd seen. Anderson came along. So did Adina, our political representative on the Citadel. With those two heavyweights, it seemed reasonable we could persuade the Council that the ship we'd seen was a potential threat, as was the individual behind the attacks. The main suspect for the Eden Prime massacre was a Turian Spectre named Saren. He'd been seen by one of the survivors from the colony at Eden Prime, and there was some evidence to suggest that the ship was connected to Saren. But even Adina's pointed accusations weren't enough to convince the Council. They just couldn't believe one of their chosen elite Spectres could be guilty of something like that. They needed proof, which meant I needed proof. Fortunately, I wasn't alone in my search. Garrus, another Turian, wanted to help. That led me to Rex, the biggest, nastiest looking Krogan bounty hunter I'd ever seen. He turned out to be more than just a brute. It was his intel that led to a fugitive with incriminating evidence on Saren. The fugitive turned out to be an energetic little Quarian named Tali. A tech expert with a knack for hacking, she'd procured some information on Saren. Evidence that proved Saren was dirty. Tali's evidence proved that Saren was responsible for the massacre on Eden Prime, and that the immense warship we'd spotted was in fact Saren's flagship.
How loud that was. I'm fucking
But
doing
it
that game
went much
loud.
further. Saren was trying to find a way to bring back a race of sentient machines from dark space. Machines allegedly responsible for cleansing the galaxy of all organic life. These Reapers were blamed for wiping out all life 50,000 years ago, including the Protheans, then disappearing back through the mass relays to dark space, leaving no trace they'd ever been. That explained why Saren was after the beacon, and it made some sense out of my visions. But not much else. We couldn't convince the Council that the Reapers were a threat, but they agreed Saren had to be stopped. They stripped him of his Spectre status and gave me the honor of becoming the first human Spectre. My first task? Bring down Saren. Anderson decided to stay behind, giving up his ship, the Normandy. He told me I would need it more than he would. He also pointed me in a direction.
Okay.
Liara.
Have you got the character?
Adept in biotics, and maybe most importantly,
Damn.
daughter of Benezia, Saren's top lieutenant.
Oh,
Most of Sari,
I haven't got that on
beautiful
mine.
as she is
Well,
intelligent,
I'm gonna get my
and born with the
fucking
unique ability to
character.
meld with other species. Liara was able to help me decipher some of the vision.
It's what made.
people had
I got
given
one
me.
for number 3 as well.
Nothing concrete, but it gave me some clues. And a new appreciation for the Asari. Her technique for accessing my vision was unexpected, but not at all unpleasant. Ashley was a little concerned about the connection I shared with Liara. As commander, I knew either relationship had the potential to interfere with the mission. I told Ash I wasn't interested in Liara. I had my eyes on someone else. But we agreed we wouldn't let it get in the way of our mission.
Oh, thank God for that.
Finding Saren. Thanks to Liara's help, we had our next lead. Benezia.
Mine's always Ashley, anyway.
Saren had taken her to Novaria, where he'd enslaved a dangerous race of insect-like creatures, the
No,
Rachni.
I've gone for Ashley this time on
He
this
ordered
playthrough. When I
Benezia to
played
use
the
the
last
same
playthrough, it was
technique
obviously
Liara
Ashley I
had used
played.
on me to extract information from the Rachni Queen. The Queen's drones were
That
everywhere,
is-
and they weren't happy. We had to fight through hundreds of them
Only
to get
issue
to
right now,
Benezia.
I haven't got his
By
eyes
the
out.
time we arrived, Saren was gone.
Lucky you and Caden. Lucky you.
With the information. I tried to reason with Benezia, but Saren had indoctrinated her. He had
It's on
somehow
fire, it's 'cause-
acquired
it's
the
'cause you're on
ability to
Facebook, isn't it?
control people's actions and wills.
Oh, I see it now.
Benezia wouldn't surrender, and Liara was forced to watch her mother die in her arms.
Are you still
And I
posting
was
it?
left with an angry, dangerous Rachni Queen to deal with.
Are you
She
actually watching
claimed her
it?
drones would do no harm if I released
Yeah,
her,
oh, yeah.
but the Rachni had terrorized the galaxy before.
Let's get out of shit.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't doom an entire species for past sins. And the Queen was true to her word.
I
She
sure
left
think-
and took her army of drones
It
with
might
her.
fuck up other people's eyes yet.
With Saren stopped,
This
Lieutenant
is what I
Dan.
added, yeah.
It was
Or
quickly
Mac,
running
right?
out of time and places to hide. I tracked him down
Look
at
at
his
my
base
eyes.
on Vermeer, but we soon learned it was more than a base of operations.
Facebook.
It was a breeding ground. Saren was breeding an army of Krogan. He'd found a cure for the genophage, a disease inflicted on the Krogan to prevent them from breeding and taking over the galaxy. But the Krogan Saren was breeding were slaves.
Yeah, that's because I added
mindless
the
beasts that obeyed
I added
Saren's will.
the skin
And
as
I
well.
had to destroy the base and all
Yeah,
its
I had
research.
to make it more realistic.
Rex
Ish.
disagreed. Violently. Rex wanted
It's
the
actually pretty
genophage
easy,
cure
man.
for his
It's
people.
actually really easy.
I tried to convince him to help me destroy it.
It just
But these-
takes you just
Fortunately,
got
Rex
to let it do
when
what
we
it
finally
does.
got to the center of communication, but there was no time
Before
to think it was
I can
solved.
actually.
Before I could convince him to stop. Ash was a good friend, and I chose him.
You can change it anyway.